Welcome to the Horror Next Door. This is our favorite new horror trailers from January 2023. If you like this video, please subscribe.
She came from the woods. In 1987, a group of counselors accidentally unleash a decades-old evil on the last night of summer camp.
She Came from the Woods stars Cara Buono, who you might know from Stranger Things, and William Sadler, who starred in The Mist, The Shawshank Redemption, and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, and releases February 10th.
I know that I'm in the minority, but I'm still not sick of films and shows and things like that take place in the 80s. Aside from the time period, I just think that this movie looks really fun. The comedy looks like it's charming rather than ridiculously over the top or annoying. I suppose the camp setting is another thing that's been done a lot in horror films. I still think, despite a lot of similarities to other films, that this looks original. I'm really excited to watch it. It just looks like a feel-good version of a horror flick.
As a fan of the Friday the 13th series, this movie obviously resonated with me a little bit more. I felt like the story set up in the trailer kind of really reminded me of Friday the 13th Part 6, the one that actually has children in it. But obviously after that, it's completely different. But the trailer just looks fun. Like Hellcat said, there is some comedy to it, but it's not, over the top slapstick humor. The movie just looks fun. It looks like it might have some cool gore. There's like one little shot where you see some blood, but maybe they're just hiding everything for the trailer. But can't wait to check this one out.
Evil Dead Rise. A twisted tale of two estranged sisters whose reunion is cut short by the rise of flesh-possessing demons, thrusting them into a primal battle for survival as they face the most nightmarish version of family imaginable.
Evil Dead Rise is directed by Lee Cronin, who directed Hole in the Ground, and releases April 21st.
I am both ridiculously excited about this and indifferent about it. The reason I'm sort of indifferent about it is because I don't really understand why it had to be an Evil Dead film. They could have used any other term or resource besides Deadite to cause what is wrong with this mother in this movie, and that literally would have been the only thing that would need to change. I love the original Evil Dead films. I'm not the biggest fan in the world of the Fede Alvarez film, but it really wasn't bad. I just sort of looked at it as it's not an Evil Dead movie, and I liked it a lot more, and I think that I will probably have to do the same thing with this. One of the greatest charms about all of the Bruce Campbell Evil Dead movies is all the practical effects, the fact that it's insanely gory, and it has a great sense of humor to the entire series. This is lacking all of that. There are CGI moments in this trailer where I just sort of roll my eyes a little bit. I'm hoping it'll look better in the final product, but I'm not expecting a whole lot. As for all of the good things, I am here for all of that gore. This looks so insane. We watched the Red Band trailer, which will be linked in the description. I mean, there's even a Shining-esque ridiculous amount of blood that comes falling out of a doorway or whatever the heck it is. Like, it just looks totally batshit crazy. I'm really excited to see what the heck is going to happen if this is just the trailer. I also think the family dynamic is very interesting. The fact that that little girl's mother is the one that's possessed or whatever you want to call it is kind of wild, and it's going to add a different tone to the entire story. I think that the acting looks good. Again, I'll probably just go into it without keeping all the original Evil Dead movies in my mind, and hopefully I will enjoy it because from what I can tell, it does look like a horror fan's wet dream.
So I've seen things posted online about them making another Evil Dead movie, and it was called Evil Dead Rise, and I never really looked into it very much. I really wasn't excited for it at all. Didn't know anything about it, who was directing it, or who was going to be in it, or anything like that. I just know that Sam Raimi was producing another Evil Dead movie, and I was just like, whatever. When I saw that the trailer was released, the same thing. I wasn't really that excited for it, but after getting done watching it, I think mainly because of all the gore, this does have me really excited to see this. I do agree with what Hellcat said that, the fact that this takes place in like an apartment or something, it really could have been anything else besides Evil Dead and it would still work as a film. But to kind of add to what she said is I'm kind of wondering if maybe they're going to have this connect to something in some ways. So it's not just, hey, let's put Evil Dead in an apartment complex and see what happens. Maybe it does have some kind of relevance. I don't know. So I'm not exactly sure if this is supposed to be like another reboot or something or whatever. The Necronomicon book looks completely different and it has weird teeth on the side and everything. This still has the trademark Evil Dead camera shots where it's, the evil traveling and, going towards people. You can see it in a few glimpses in the trailer, like where it's outside and it's kind of panning up towards the apartment building. This definitely has all the Evil Dead trademarks to it. It's just going to be interesting because this is the first one where they're taking it out of the woods, out of the cabin, and into another setting. But with all that gore, it should still be a fun ride, and I cannot wait. Let's go.
Let's go!
Scream 6. In the next installment, the survivors of the Ghostface killings leave Woodsboro behind and start a fresh chapter in New York City.
Scream 6, Ghostface Takes Manhattan, is directed by Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett, who together directed Ready or Not and Scream 5. Scream 6 stars Melissa Barrera, who was in Scream 5 and Bed Rest, Jenna Ortega, who was also in Scream 5 and X, and Samara Weaving from The Babysitter, Ready or Not, and Mayhem. Returning Scream stars include Hayden Panettiere, who played Kirby in Scream 4, and Courtney Cox, who's appeared in all previous Screams. Scream 6 releases March 10th.
The original Scream film is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. My sister and I were beyond obsessed with it. We watched it so much. To this day, I still enjoy watching it. I think it's such a great movie. It is damn near perfect, if not perfect, in my opinion. As is par for the course, the sequels kind of went on a steady decline over time. Scream 4 has definitely grown on me, whereas the more that I think about Scream 5, the less that I like it. I think after all those years, seeing a new Scream film in the theater was just so exciting to me that after I initially watched it, I was super hyped, and I've tried rewatching it once since, and I don't know even what it is or how to pinpoint what it is about it that grates on my nerves a little bit, but I just have really no desire to watch it again. So seeing all of the same characters from 5 come back in this, it's just not that exciting or appealing to me. I'm definitely more excited about Courtney and Hayden being in it. I know everybody's already talked about all that stuff, but the fact that Neve Campbell and David Arquette aren't in it is kind of a bummer. Who knows what other former Scream film cast members may pop up randomly in here. There's a lot of buzz online about certain things, of course, as always. Every time there's a new Scream movie, everyone freaks out. Just to be honest, I also don't find this plot all that appealing. I am curious as to who the killer or killers is or are, because they're so motivated to go after these same people that they go to New York City, where it certainly seems like it would be a lot more difficult to get away with this kind of stuff than it would in Woodsboro. I'm so sorry if I sound jaded or if I'm disappointing anybody with my sort of a downer of commentary on this. I am looking forward to seeing it. It's a Scream film. We'll go see it in the theater. It's actually really close to my birthday, so hopefully it'll be a lot more enjoyable than I'm expecting. I guess I just sort of feel like they're really reaching and grasping at straws and trying to keep a successful franchise going. And honestly, the longer it goes, the less interested in it I'm in. So I'm not super excited about this one, but I'm still looking forward to seeing what mysteries and fun reveals and revelations will pop up in this one.
So I know I mentioned this when we talked about Scream 5, but it bugged me at the time that the movie was titled Scream with no number. And I said, well, what's going to happen when they make another one? And then here they are, they're calling it Scream 6. If anybody looks these movies up and they know nothing about the series, they're going to be confused about that 5th one that's just called Scream. I don't know. That bugs me. Anyway, my excitement for this film is actually kind of the opposite of Scream 5. When I heard that they were making a Scream 5, I was actually pretty hyped about it. But then when I saw the trailer, I kind of lost some excitement for it. I wasn't as excited for it when I went into the theater. And then with Scream 6, I wasn't excited about it at all. And then now seeing the trailer, I'm more excited about it. Just like Evil Dead Rise, this will be the first film in the Scream series that takes it out of Woodsboro and into a different setting, this time being New York. Just like to say that Jason went there first. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. Hellcat said something about it's going to be a lot harder to get away with these things in New York. And the first thing that popped in my head when she said that is hopefully they don't play up this whole, well, it's New York, man, and it's the city. Like, who gives a fuck? But whatever. I know there might be some people out there that maybe think it's blasphemous that Ghostface is holding a shotgun and not a knife in the earlier scene in the trailer, but I actually think it's kind of a cool image of just the costume and him holding the shotgun and everything. I'm sure it's only going to be for that quick little convenience store scene, but it's actually pretty interesting. Can't wait to see how that turns out. I was actually kind of excited that Samara Weaving was going to be in this, and after seeing the trailer, I was like, where the heck is she? And when I was going through the stills for this video, she is in the trailer for not even an entire second. She seems to be standing in an alleyway somewhere on a cell phone. My theory is that she's probably going to be the opening kill of the film. Just putting that out there. We didn't talk about this when they released the teaser trailer because I kind of just wanted to wait for the full trailer to actually talk about it on the channel. But the scene at the very end where they show all the different Ghostface on the subway train and it's like, oh, who is it? Who's the killer? And who's just, a random dude dressed up? There's a lot of other people in the background dressed up as well. And I think it's kind of cool. There's someone dressed up as Pinhead. And there's someone dressed up as Freddy Krueger. And I did spot a guy dressed up as Jason. Just thought that was cool. Maybe there's some other people in there that I haven't noticed. I'm actually more excited to see this one than Scream 5. So hopefully it'll turn out to be a much better experience than Scream 5 was. I think I was kind of let down by it, kind of disappointed. Definitely going to be seeing this in the theaters. Can't wait to check it out.
As always, thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment letting us know your thoughts on these trailers, all of which will be linked below along with our store and social media pages. Until next time!